A big hello to every one of you. I deem it a pleasure as well as privilege to meet you all through this webinar. In this session, I'm going to discuss with you the concept of digital learning and the role of open educational resources in providing digital learning to the 21st century students. I deem it a pleasure as well as privilege to represent the Department of Educational Technology, Bharatidasan University. For we as a department have the distinction of being the first Department of Educational Technology of the country, and we have been popularizing the concept of educational technology among teachers of different levels, different subjects. Well, we all know that the entire country is now under lockdown and institutions are closed and students and teachers are separated largely by distance. And in my view, in this context, the use of educational technology gains uh, much significance because of the simple reason that it can provide anytime, anywhere learning to our students who are separated by space, who are separated by time zones. With this introduction, let me go over to my presentation. And what I plan to do is that introduce you to the concept of digital learning in terms of what, why, and how, and then present to you the concept of OER, Open Educational Resources, and then provide you with a few demos of the use of open educational resources. This is the plan of action, and I hope you will find the session useful. Well, let me resume my presentation. Well, the idea behind the use of the digital resources for learning or electronic resources in multiple formats, at the outset, I would like to make it clear that it is not that these things cannot be achieved by teachers inside the classroom, but with the help of all these digital technologies, information and communication technologies, and different web applications and mobile applications, the task is that of making the learning process more interactive, more participatory, more engaging, and more involving, more meaningful, more joyful for the students. Well, the question of interactive learning, participatory learning, higher levels of engagement, these are all very important even inside a classroom, no doubt. But with the help of technologies which are readily available to us, very importantly, which are readily available to us, and which are readily available to us free of cost, right? No money is involved. That is what is all this OER about, open educational resources. and we will see how it can happen. And when we talk about digital learning, digital technologies, in fact, some of you may be knowing the origin of the word digital. Digital is, as you can see on the screen, is all the binary, the zeros and ones. All these digital technologies are based on this binary code, as we know already, 1 and 0, or 0 and 1. And those who are from the language backgrounds, especially English language backgrounds, you may not agree with me. It is all about zeros and ones, because the word takes its origin, the word digital takes its origin from a Greek root, digitus, which means fingertips. So any of these technologies which we make use of with the help of the fingertips, they become digital technologies. Whatever is the case, whether you look at that way or this way, it doesn't matter. Both are right here. All these technologies are basically on a binary code, and all these technologies are manipulated, used through digital fingertips. So whatever is the case, when we integrate these resources and technologies, gadgets, these digital technologies, digital resources and digital gadgets into human learning, then there is something called digital learning. We will explain, right, in detail. And in fact, there are a lot of literature available on this digital age education, digital learning, digital learners. Many things are available, no doubt. But of all the things available, one of the important documents, in my view, is this report, a report of a project by name Project Tomorrow, where the 3 E's of the digital age education are elaborately discussed. How these digital technologies enable the process of learning, enable the disadvantaged learners, and how these technologies can have higher levels of engagement, higher levels of keeping the human minds engaged, and how empowerment happens to all categories and all segments of learners. Not only favorable to a particular set of people who are privileged to be in certain places, providing a kind of an uh, equality of educational opportunities. So it's a good document. Those of you who are interested further, you can go over to it. And I would be happy if you can just quickly go through what is there on the screen. A quote of one mathematics teacher by name Samuel May, made in 1855, about an experience that he had in a training school, some training program, some in-service training program for mathematics teachers. He goes there, he attends, and that happened in 1813. So when they entered the hall, as you can see and read for yourself, they saw something black hanging on the board, on the wall, a black board, and there were some bits and pieces of chalk, white chalk, and some cloth for wiping the board. And they never knew that it was going to be a tool in the hands of the teacher for facilitating learning. Blackboard and white chalk, the so-called chalk and talk method. It started in 1813. And this is the way a blackboard was introduced into the classroom. A very simple, low-cost visual tool, a visual technology inside the hall. And down the line, 2020, today, what are all the different tools and technologies we have inside our classrooms for facilitating learning in the field of education? There are a lot. Okay? For instance, starting from radios, FM radios, educational televisions, e-books, multimedia, digital storytelling software, smartphones, tablets, wikis, blogs, plenty of things. You can go through it on the screen for yourself. And there are a few things which I have put in red here. The so-called massive open online courses, MOOCs, open educational resources, which we are going to see elaborately. Educational cloud, there is something called cloud-based education or cloud computing, which is used in the field of education. The Web 2.0, right? The second generation web technologies and tools, mobile apps, web apps, and intelligent learning systems. And these things I have put in red are real red alerts for any teacher of the 21st century, in my view. And unless you and I are going to take these things very seriously and move ahead in our profession along with these things, accepting these things, learning these things, maybe we are into a big risk in the days to come. That's what is my view. And my point here is that, see, when we had a look at the blackboard introduced in 1813, but we also have a look at many things, many tools, technologies available inside our classroom today. And I would appeal to you to uh, very honestly think over what is our reason, or what is the our justification to remain happy and comfortable with a 200-year-old tool that have a blackboard inside of it. I'm not against the use of a blackboard. Not being negative about the use of blackboard. But when there are plenty of tools readily available to do our work better, and why most of the time, right? Not all teachers, right? A cross section of the teaching community remains happy with the 200-plus-year-old tool. That is something for you to think over. So, coming to the next important point, see, we right now are living through a digital age. We all say that, we read about it, we listen to such things in the media, and there is a different pedagogy which is to be implemented in this digital age. And if you ask me why there is a need for a digital age pedagogy, it is very simple as it is. For every age, there is a pedagogy. For instance, in the agriculture age, we had a different pedagogy in practice. And when the industrial age came, after the agriculture age, that earlier pedagogy which had been in use was found to be unsuitable. So we discarded that and we went ahead with a new model of education. And when the education moves down to a digital age, there is naturally a need for a new pedagogy. And it's not something very big. I just introducing you to the concept of digital learning before I go to the OER. It's not a big concept as such. It is something very well known to us. Basically, this digital age pedagogy is all about these four factors, as you can see on screen. New generation of learners, new learning environments, the new learning media, and of course, the new generation of teachers. I have put a small question mark behind that. I'll come to that point. See, as we all know, the generation of learners that we have today are an altogether new generation. We all know that. They are quite different from all of us when we were students, and they do things in quite different ways, whether it is reading, acquiring knowledge, negotiating knowledge, or whatever the case. And I will elaborate upon this, the learners, a little more, because when we talk about learner-centric models of education, we should have some better ideas of these digital learners. Right? That is the point. And the learning environments, they are the so-called virtual learning environments. They are digital learning landscapes. For instance, right now, I'm in a different place, all of you are in different places, but still, there is an unseen, invisible environment that exists among all of us. That's what we call as a virtual learning environment. And the media deployed for learning is quite new. Right? It is not only educational media, but also edutainment media. Education and entertainment media together. Videos, podcasts, right? All these entertainment platforms are now into educational systems. It is no longer the print and text media alone that we go about with teaching and learning. And as I already pointed out, the last part, do we have a new generation of teachers who are willing to learn all these digital technologies, irrespective of the subjects they handle, whether it is physics or chemistry or botany, zoology or Kannada literature and language or anything for that matter, and an enthusiasm to redesign their pedagogical practices, incorporating all these digital technologies. That is why I have put a small question mark right after this. And the learning environments are quite new. As I was just telling you, the digital learning environment, digital educational landscapes, it is borderless, right? So there is no restrictions of time zones and geographical restrictions. It's open. For instance, with all these digital technologies available, live video conferencing sessions, live webinar sessions, synchronous communication strategies and technologies available, no institution is away from the learner in terms of physical distances. Every institution is only a click away from the learner today. Any institution for that matter. In fact, today, with all these technologies and initiatives like massive open online courses, it is not the students go to the institutions, the institutions go to the students, and the institutions go with the students wherever they go. It is that I would like to highlight here. So, the learning medium, as I told you, is not only the print and text, but also multiple media or the so called multimedia. And I was telling you earlier that I would a little elaborately talk about the new generation of learners. The new generation of learners are the so called digital kids who are born after this electronic boom happened in the world, particularly in our country, maybe the later part of 90s, 96, 97, 98, 99, and where all the digital gadgets, these ICT devices, electronic gadgets, the cost went down drastically and everybody started using it. And anyone can have access to these digital technologies at a very, very small age, at a tender age. So, very small children are now exposed to all these digital media. We know very well. If a mother, a young mother, is finding it difficult to feed a small boy, the immediate toy that she gives to him is the smartphone. We know that. And it is a smartphone only for the parents, but for the kid, it is a toy. Right? So they grow with all these digital technologies. They have taken birth in such digitally rich environments and they grow in that type of an environment. So much so they become the digital kids. So digital kids, when they get into learning, they become digital learners, and digital learners expect digital learning to be practiced in institutions, and they would like to have digital learning resources at their disposal for their learning. It's as simple as that. Right? So now I would direct your attention. In fact, it's a huge talk, right? Digital kids, digital learning. It can be a big talk by itself, but since I have to focus a little on OER for digital learning. I'm stopping here. My part of my discussion on this particular digital learning, digital kids. I would appeal to you that you can go through these books. These are freely downloadable. Understanding DK's Digital Kids by Jan Jukes and Anita Dosage. The second one you can see Born Digital, Understanding the First Generation of Digital Natives. Why it is important is because maybe after all this lockdown period, when you get into your institutions, quite eager to meet your students inside your classrooms, you will be happy to see 40 or 50 students sitting in front of you. And all these 40 or 50 students belong to the first generation of digital natives. All of them were born after this 95, 96, 97. And in fact, you as a teacher may not see any boy or a girl born before this electronic boom period, born before this period as a student in your class. And look at the last book, Why Do I Need a Teacher When I've Got Google? See, it is not the book, the title looks a little negative, right? But the book is a very positive book which would forcibly argue why a teacher is needed, right? And there is a teacher. Right? So, in the era of Google, what a teacher should be doing and how he or she should be doing. Very elaborate discussions you will find. I'm sure you will find it really useful. So coming to the OER, Open Educational Resources, the so-called OER, right? The OER, the abbreviation refers to Open Educational Resources, and this expression can refer to any educational materials, learning materials that are in the public domain. Most important word here is public domain. For instance, your institutional website is a public domain. A university's website is a public domain, and the educational materials are normally introduced with an open license. We will elaborately deal with that. And first thing is, it should be available in a public domain, and it should be with an open license. And the most important feature of OER is that anyone can freely copy, use, adapt, share, these contents. Anyone can do it. All importantly, anyone can do all these things with educational contents legally. That is more important. It is not simply be bypassed through some network and get into some website and download contents illegally. It's not that. Legally, everyone is permitted to download the content, use it, share it, modify it, uh, remix the content, right? Anything is possible. This is the most important aspect of OER. And you see the mantra behind OER, basically there are three. One is world's knowledge is a public good. Very simple. It is a public good. For instance, you see a road that you travel on is a public property, the government's property. Nobody can stop you from using it except the government. It is not a property of any individual. So, like that, world's knowledge is meant for public use. And the second one is OER should pave way for everyone in the world to have equal opportunities of accessing the knowledge. Nobody should deny an opportunity to access knowledge, use knowledge, and share knowledge. What we call as equality of educational opportunities. Everyone will have the same chance, same opportunity. It is not that one person is denied an opportunity, one person is given an opportunity. And OERs provide basically the content for learning, the third point, and the tools for teaching and learning and research, right? These are the basic components of the OER. See, I was mentioning about one thing earlier. See, the content should be available on a public domain and the content should be introduced with the open license. See, there is something called Creative Commons licensing. That's what is the open license. For instance, you might have seen that. I will also show that in some places, in some documents, some videos, right, some web portals, you will see some symbol like CC. The CC stands for Creative Commons. And the Creative Commons license comes with these 5 R's. These are called the 5 R's of the open license. One is retain. Anyone who's sharing the content on an open access portal will retain the right to control the copies of the content. Anytime, for instance, I prepare content, you may have a question. Sir, I prepare a content, some Word file, convert it into a PDF and put it on an open access portal. Will I have some control over it? Will I have an opportunity to have that? Or will it become totally under the control of somebody else? You will continue to be the owner. But the only thing is, you alone will not be the owner of that content. Everybody else also will be having the ownership. Next is reuse. It is your content, you have done it, and you will be at liberty to reuse it n number of times, right? And revise it. Third R. Anytime you can revise your content and upload it again, adapt, adjust, modify, alter the content, anything you can do. And remix, the right to combine the original revised content with other open content. See, for instance, you have created a video, some botany teacher listening to this, maybe you have created a video on photosynthesis. And sometime later, you find that you can add some 1 or 2 minutes of video from somebody else's video, another good video you find. At the end of your video, you think that it is better to have that 2 minutes of video. You can download that, you can download your content and put it together and launch it as if it was a 5-minute video, now you can launch it as a 7-minute video and redistribute. You will have the liberty again to remix and share with people, n number of people, any time for that matter. And you see, those of you who have already accessed the research literature online in open access portals, you would have come across the different color codes. I'm sure you can see on the screen the open symbol. That is the most important thing. The word open, right? Very simple meaning of it, as we have already obtained to you, is that it is given to you free of cost, no money. That's the first level meaning. and the lock, that open symbol, that is always goes with it. And it will be in different colors, and each one has some meaning to convey. And for instance, if it is blue, right, these contents can be archived post print but not preprint. After the print comes out, you can have retain a copy, archive it, save it, but you cannot do it before the print comes. And green, as you can see, it can be archived both pre-print and post-print. Yellow, you archiving is, that is downloading and keeping it with you, is allowed pre-print, but when the post-print, after when the print comes, you will not be in a position to archive it, right? For instance, during the lockdown period, most of the places we did not have a supply of the newspapers. But somebody in some groups, they shared every morning the Hindu, the Indian Express, the Times of India, many newspapers. We all had access to it. We read it. Right? It's all about that, whether we can save them in our devices and use them for later reference. And if it is white, no archiving at all. Right? These are the different color codes that go with it. So now, coming to the types of OER, see the different types of OER available are plenty, right? I have just listed a few, like e-books, e-journals, ETD, the so-called electronic thesis and dissertations, open access databases, digital libraries, courseware, online, offline learning tools, right? Subject gateway, video lectures, simulations, interactive labs, contents, quizzes, practice tests, search engines, meta search engines, like that, plenty. There are different genres of open educational resources are available. And the formats in which open educational resources are made available are also many. For instance, contents are available in text format, right? It can be in MS Word format, or it can be PDF form, right? It can be in the form of images or infographics or flashcards, right? Thousands and thousands of freely downloadable images on any concept format. If you give in Google search, image search, right, an expression like, again, photosynthesis, you will find at least 10,000 pictures which depict how photosynthesis happens. And if it's a process, the whole process explained, we will call it as an infographic, right? And flashcards for use in different subjects. And contents are made available as audios, audio lectures, right? Audio books. And there are plenty of video books, educational videos, video contents, graphics, animation, and all these things put together as multimedia content. And also available softwares, tools, and applications, different software and tools for doing different things. For anything for free of cost, for doing some analysis, for preparing some work, right? For editing an image, right? Like there's plenty of tools, software available. And again, plenty of mobile apps and web apps are available for, right, learning, gaming, entertainment, plenty of. So these are all the different formats in which the open educational resources are available. So we will just have a quick look at some of the important open educational resources of different categories. In fact, I'm going to share with you through the organizers a two-page Word file which will contain a lot of websites. Of course, I have put in some categories. Some 10 websites I have put for e-books, and about 10 websites I have put for audiobooks, some sites for blogs, some sites for podcasts, some sites for downloading and using OER in the form of videos, right? Like that I have put it. They are going to share with you along with the learning materials. And I'm just highlighting a few of the things just to arouse your curiosity. For instance, this web portal, Project Gutenberg, this is the first ebook project of the world. I think you know the meaning of the person Gutenberg. He is the one who developed the technical printing press. And named after him, this project, right, is a free ebook project. Thousands and thousands of ebooks are available for free download. And the next category of OER that I would like to share with you is the audiobooks. I hope you can understand what an audiobook can be, a book in the form of an audio. And a site like learnoutloud.com that you see on the screen, it has so many audiobooks for free downloads. And you can see on the left side, right, the left vertical column, arts, entertainment, biography, business, education, history, languages, literature, philosophy, politics, religion, science, self-development, social science, technology, travel. On any topic under the sun, you will have books available, audio books available for free download. And a simple audiobook can be really beneficial to the students in many ways. I'm just giving you an example. For instance, a book, one of the latest books in physics written by an American physicist. If it is available for free access here, then you can download it and listen to the book on the go. No need to read. And you will have the liberty to choose whether the book should be, the reading should go in American English or British English or Indian English. And you can choose in some of the books whether the reading should go in male voice or female voice, right? So like that, plenty of opportunities, plenty of advantages for the learner. And I would appeal to you that you must expose your students to academic blogs, because there are several thousands and thousands of academic blogs available in the world which contain a lot of learning resources. But one problem is that our students may not know which particular blog contains the particular resources are necessary for them. There, platforms like this, bloggeries.com, globofblogs.com, blogorama.com, they will help you because they are not blogs. But bloggeries.com is a directory of blogs. It will have all the blogs in the world available here in some categories. For instance, you go to education, you can see down blog categories. Education, you will find all teaching learning blogs there. If you go to health, you will find all health related blogs there. So that's how blogs you can make use of for your students. You can help them to access contents also. And if you would like to have a blog for yourself, maybe you can try your hand with wordpress.com. I'm not doing any marketing for this, but one of the most convenient and easy to use, user friendly blogging platforms is wordpress.com. And if you are in Google, you can also, if you have a Google account, no doubt you can have Blogger and Blogspot, right, readily available to you. And you can try. And next, see these blogs, podcasts, they're all the so-called Web 2.0 tools, second generation web technologies and tools. And the next one is podcasts. Podcasts, the word is actually a hybrid word which contains iPod and broadcast. Put together, it has become podcast. And it's very simple. It is readily available multimedia contents, multimedia files on any topic under the sun. You can just search on Google, right? Give any topic on Google. Some of it is mathematics, equilateral triangle, put a plus symbol and add podcast. Search and you will get about 100 podcasts on equilateral triangle. Like that, any concept, chemical bonding plus podcast, you will get hundreds of podcasts on the concept of chemical bonding. I'm just showing you only one thing, the so-called podcasting platform of the University of Oxford. So the some of the best lectures, some of the special lectures given in the Oxford University campus are made available as podcasts here. And I have put some red rounds in some places. You see that CC I was mentioning, Creative Commons. If that symbol is there, that means that content is under the Creative Commons license and it is open access content. You can download it free of cost, use it, share it, redistribute it, anything that we have mentioned earlier, you can do it. And there are the other, I have talked about blogs, podcasts, wikis. Another thing is wikis. Most of the people restrict their understanding of wiki to Wikipedia. But wiki is not only Wikipedia there, Wikimedia is there, Wiktionaries are there, wiki maps are there, wiki books are there. In wiki format, you have plenty of content. And one of the most important advantage of wiki platforms and wiki books and Wikipedia is that anyone can edit. You can log in and do some edits. For instance, you find a book on maybe something on social science research methods, and you think that some aspect is missing there. You think the book will be better if the certain topics are added to it and you have some content. you can add that content to the book, and it will become richer with your additional input also. You will have you can have a look at these platforms also, Wikibooks. And this is something which most of you may know, or even school children, NCRT syllabus, whoever is there in the CBSE curriculum, they know, because most of the textbooks, CBSE textbooks, they link Khan Academy videos. See, one of the very creative video platforms for mathematics, basic sciences, language, geography, many subjects, you'll find beautifully created video lessons available on Khan Academy for free access. As you can see on the screen, it is for free for everyone forever, right? So that's how Khan Academy goes. And a site like Cosmo Learning, as you can see on the screen, is another good. As I'm sure, as you can see on the center port itself, on the top layer, you can see Cosmo Learning is a free educational website for students. That's why I am showing this under OER. You have so much of video content, video lessons and video contents, documentaries, right? And you can see the range of topics starting from aerospace engineering to, right, maybe zoology, A to Z. You'll have plenty of contents available. You can have, these are all the screenshots of the web portals, and the list I'm going to send to the organizers also will contain all these URLs. You can have an access to all these things and see for yourself what type of contents are available, how you can make use of these digital resources available for free access for the benefit of your students, right? And in practice, see how digital learning helps your learners with OER. And this is something which, again, some of you may already know, the so-called MOOC platforms, massive open online course platforms. This Coursera is a very famous platform, and you will see universities, you can see in the middle of the bar, Pennsylvania, John Hopkins, Michigan, Stanford, San Diego, Duke, like that, all universities, the best universities in the world, they give all their courses free of cost on these platforms. And the another most important, most popular platform is edX, right? edx.org, right? edX and Coursera are very most popular MOOC platforms of the world. And no doubt, the MIT, right, is a name that goes with open courseware. All these MOOCs initiatives, in fact, the starting point, I may say that it's all MIT open courseware. Several years back, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, they wanted to share all their teachers' learning resources with the world of learners. So they opened up some concept like open courseware, right? OCW, MIT OCW, the earliest initiative. And any course offered in MIT campus, the whole course contents are made out of the videos, the lectures, discussions, the questions, quizzes. Everything is made available as a courseware, right, to any student in the world. And this is the pride of India, I will say. SWAYAM, the India's MOOC platform for Indian students by Indian teachers, right? SWAYAM portal, we all know that. Some of you might have already done courses. Some of you might have, every college may now have a SWAYAM mentor, and some of you may be SWAYAM mentors. You will be guiding your students how to do registration for courses on SWAYAM portal and how to complete it, take the examinations and all. This is one of the most remarkable initiatives of the government of India, having a MOOC platform for our country. And some of the other portals, before I conclude, I would like to highlight here. Again, these are all government of India's initiatives. CEC, UGC, Consortium for Educational Communication. It is again an inter-university center which is doing a lot for promoting e-learning, from providing e-contents to the entire country. And if you go to the e-education section of this portal, you will find a lot of e-modules and e-contents and learning objects repository. Right, it's a collection of learning objects, short video clips. Right, almost about 60% of the UG curriculum of the country contents are made available as e-modules here. You can see for yourself. And this is again, most of you know, if you are from engineering background, you will know better. NPTEL, National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning, coordinated by IIT Madras. it offers plenty of video and web courses free of cost, right, for basic engineering and basic science subjects. You can see for yourself. And as I told you, the CEC platform has so much of content for UG level students and UG level subjects. This portal, EPG Pathshala, right? EPG Pathshala will contain lot of contents, right? Lot of resources, right, for the postgraduate students. Right? And for instance, if you go to, if you click on the subjects, arts and humanities, and click on history, that means MA history, right? You will find the 2 years subjects listed, some 16 papers or so listed. Semester 1, 4 papers, semester 2, semester 3, semester 4, each 4 papers. So about 16 papers. You click on one paper, medieval history of the world, then you see you will find about 30 to 40 modules, right? Prepared in 4 quadrant model, right? You will have e-text will be there, video content will be there, you will have a self-check questions will be there, and then for additional learning resources will be provided. In these 4 quadrants, the contents have been developed and made available. Again, all these contents are free, right? That's why I'm talking to you elaborately about these things. They're all the basic OER initiatives of the Government of India. And there is Swayam Prabha also. Swayam Prabha is a network, is a web portal offering about 32 DTH channels. And these channels are subject specific. You will find a channel on biological science. You will find a channel for chemical sciences, like physics and chemistry. You will find a channel for mathematics and statistics. You may find a channel for history, art, and culture. Like that, subject specific, domain specific, discipline specific subjects, giving 24/7, right, video contents on targeted to the UG, PG, and school level students. You can have access to these contents also. Right? And for instance, I was talking to you about CEC creating contents for UG level students, NPTEL creating contents for engineering and science students, EPGP developing contents for PG students, and Swayam Prabha for television channels. Like that, plenty of content development, OER development initiatives are there in the country. If you go to Vidyamitra, you will find all these contents available here, whether it is for NPTEL, CEC, or EPGP. This is an integrated e-content portal where you will find it's a gateway to all learners, as you can see the slogan. I would appeal to all of you to make use of all these portals and give to your students also these links so that they will start practicing digital learning with the help of all these electronic resources. Right? And in this context, all that I would like to highlight here is, so when all these resources are made available, so much of video, so much of content, what should the teachers be doing, right? And are teachers becoming redundant? That may be a question here. But I would like to point out one thing, that teachers are the central forces in getting the real benefits of the ICT to the student community. We should play the active role so that they will get the real benefits of all these ICT enabled and ICT mediated education. So all of us as teachers of the 21st century should master some ICT skills and should be able to create some new learning culture in our institutions. For instance, after every session, after completing 1 hour of a class, if every teacher gives some websites, 2 websites for the students to explore and learn further, enrich their learning. If every teacher does it, then it becomes a new culture of learning. It is that you and I, as 21st century teachers, are supposed to be doing, in my view. And I always close my talks on ICT, digital learning, and OER with this person, Alvin Toffler. You might have read his books, right? One of his very famous books is The Future Shock, where he would say that the mantras for real success in profession in the 21st century are these: learn, unlearn, and relearn. As a 21st century teacher, all of us should learn new things, right? And some of the things that we have earlier learned, right, if they are not relevant, we should unlearn, and we should relearn some of the things in a revised context. All that we have learned for our teaching, whether it is maths or physics or chemistry or botany, right, we should relearn some of the things, keeping in mind how we can teach these things in the context of 21st century education with tools and resources that are readily available to us. Right? And maybe I'm available to you for further discussions. and my contents will be shared by the organizers. And as I already pointed out, there is about 6-7 page write-up which I'm sharing with the organizers. They will share with you, and they will also share with you the list of websites that I was mentioning. A huge list. I have just highlighted only a few, and other things you can explore for yourself and learn for yourself how best you can make use of these OER for promoting digital learning. And all that I have to conclude with you, conclude with is that very simple. There is a proverb like we have to do today's jobs with today's tools. And whatever that we have shown here in the form of this OER, these different software tools, right? They are the tools of the day. And we should do the task of, we should do the work of facilitating learning with resources and tools of the day. Right? If we are going to do today's work with yesterday's tools, and we are making ourselves irrelevant to the context in which we are placed. That is a point I would like to highlight to you. So I would like to thank you and the organizers for giving me the opportunity, and I hope we will stay connected right through our digital platforms. Right. Thank you very much.